If you were an animal, what would you be and why? So, I'm not sure what animal I would be, but I have often found myself drawn to the phoenix because I like what it represents symbolically, how it represents how even if you go through a lot of pain and trauma in life and suffering, you can rise above it. You can grow from it. You can transmute your pain into growth, and you can become stronger, and your passion can be reignited. Even if you fall, you can get up. So yeah, I'd say the phoenix. What's your best quality? My best quality is that I am always willing to learn from my mistakes, even if I may initially be stubborn about admitting I'm wrong. If I'm convinced, then I will change my mind, and I'm always willing to say sorry and apologize, and to take accountability for my actions. Right. My worst quality would be my impatience. When I was younger, I had a really bad temper. I would get really angry and upset, and I would take things to heart, and I would take things very personally. I would often have an emotional reaction to everything. So yeah, definitely that. Yes, I'm overly emotional. Yes. How would you like others to see or perceive you? I would like others to see me as someone who's kind, who means well, someone who is not there to hurt them or to make them feel unsafe or afraid. And even if I may be at times a little strict, like, as a teacher with kids, I don't want the kids to be afraid of me or see me as intimidating. I want them to see my advice as helpful and constructive, to help them and to help them lay the foundation of their future, in terms of their behavior. Yes, I also want others to see who I am as an individual, because I am unique. I'm not like everyone else. I'm not better than others, but I am my own person. I'm not someone who blindly conforms to the masses. I like being my own person. Yes. Are you an assertive person? I think for me, I kind of swing on the pendulum of being either overly compliant and overly sweet and kind, and then having an emotional overreaction and becoming quite angry and very angry, or I will burst out in tears, or I will be overly dramatic. I've only recently learned to be more assertive. I think if you are a teacher, you really gain the skill of being more assertive, because you learn how to set rules for the class and set boundaries of what the kids can and can't do. But I found this to be a lot harder with adults than with kids, because adults, you can't really tell them what to do, and they will not always listen to you because you are not their boss. You're not their father. For me, I'm not their father. And often, if it's someone in authority over you, it's even worse. You can't really assert yourself to them a lot of the time, because they think so highly of themselves that they're often not willing to listen to what you have to say. So yeah, I would say I have become a more assertive person as I've gotten older, but I used to not be assertive. I used to be a lot more shy, and I used to be afraid to assert myself for fear of conflict and hurt feelings. Describe a perfect day for you. No limitations or obligations. Perfect day for me would be to have fun, to sing songs that I enjoy singing, to laugh and make jokes with my friends and my family, to have a fun experience, something fun and enjoyable, like going to the theme park, or exploring different cultures, different like temples or ancient buildings, maybe palaces, or ancient world wonders. I would love that, definitely. I love traveling a lot. Yes. What causes stress in your life? What causes stress in my life is if I am falsely accused of something that I did not do, and then when I try to defend myself, I'm perceived as being defensive, when in my eyes, I'm not being defensive. I'm simply factually stating what actually happened according to my perception of events. But what stresses me is if people refuse to believe me, refuse to believe I have good intentions, and choose to think that I'm the villain or the bad guy. That stresses me out a lot. It also stresses me out when people like that who accuse me then become more aggressive. Their facial expression changes and they become like red in the face, and they start to threaten me and intimidate me. It makes me feel horrible. Like I literally get sick to my stomach. I can't even eat. It's like a psychosomatic experience. So yeah. Also, what stresses me out is if I'm not feeling well that day and if the people around me are really loud, like obnoxiously loud, and it hurts my ears. Oh, that just drives me crazy. I just want to go into a dark room and hide on those days, you know? Yes. So yeah, those things stress me out. Also, if things are unclear to me or if they are not certain, I can get a bit hung up over that. I can even struggle to fall asleep if I don't have clarity about certain things, like figuring out my type. Right. What do you do for fun and what do you find interesting? Well, for fun, I like to sing songs. I love singing karaoke songs on my phone, usually by myself. But I love if there's a party and I'm invited, I would love to sing for other people too. That's great too. I love showcasing my talents, not in a arrogant way, but in a fun way where I can just be myself. I can be my most authentic self and express myself. I love doing that. And I like to study typology. I think it's quite fun to learn about people and how they cognitively process things, their core fears and motivations. I'm really intrigued by that. Yeah, I find that interesting. What I also find interesting is hearing different perspectives on things, seeing things in a new light. That really it really draws my attention. If someone explains something in a way that I haven't heard it being explained in before, I love that. It refreshes what was once style. Yes. Describe yourself with 3 adjectives. I'd say empathetic, imaginative, and expressive. Would you rather be admired or adored? I'd rather be adored because I think adoration is love. And I want people to love me for who I am. Admiration is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But adoration is more about your heart and your feelings and making people feel that they can adore you for who you are as a person, for your goodness, for your light. Yes. Do you trust yourself? I can't really answer that in an unambiguous manner. It depends. I'm learning to trust myself more, but often I find myself not trusting what I've learned about myself because it can easily change the next day or new information can come in that maybe will contradict what I learned, or instead of saying contradict, it could maybe add more layers to it. I don't distrust myself. I just distrust my knowledge that I have in terms of making the right choice. I feel there's always more to know and more to learn, and I kind of leave it open-ended, but I also feel kind of stressed about it as well at the same time. So yeah. Do you deprive yourself of anything? Yes, I deprive myself of things that make me lazy or make me do things that I shouldn't, like tempt me to do something that I believe to be wrong ethically. So I often try to deprive myself of that. In the last year, I have found myself bouncing back and forth between depriving myself of those things and also being drawn to them. They always say, forbidden fruit tastes sweeter. So I find myself, especially when I'm lying in bed at night and have an idle mind, immediately thinking of those things that tempt me the most. But now this year, I've found myself being less drawn to it. What do you find most offensive or bothersome? What I find offensive is when people are rude or inconsiderate to others, or if they blatantly break the rules that could endanger the lives of others, like traffic rules. I was just driving on my bicycle, and I was also guilty of this as well. I was wearing my hood over my head, and I think I couldn't really see around me. And the traffic light was red, so I thought, okay, I'm going to turn left. But I didn't look to see if there were people coming. And then a man on his scooter crashed into me. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and I immediately got up and I lifted up his scooter for him. They speak Chinese, so I couldn't really communicate with them, but I tried my best, and I just said, I'm sorry. Even though they were also wrong, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do the blame game. I'm just going to say sorry, because there's nothing you can do. So then from there, I learned that, where I live, a lot of people don't follow the rules. They drive right over those red lights, right over them, all the time. They never stop. Yeah, that used to really, really make me angry, but I'm learning to not let it bother me anymore. What also bothers me is very loud. When people speak really, really loudly, I'm thinking to myself, can't you hear how loud you're speaking? Are your ears closed or what, So that really bothers me because it hurts my ears, it gives me a headache, and it drives me crazy. Yeah. Okay, and what's a common misperception people have about you? People think because I'm nice and sweet and kind that I'm a pushover, but I'm not a pushover, I'm the opposite. I can be quite fierce, and I can sometimes scare myself by how strong I actually am. And it also scares other people because I'm always sweet, nice, friendly, and then one day you push me too hard, I will explode like a volcano. Yeah. All right, there's some more questions. Let's read them. Are you the hunter or the hunted? I kind of go between both. It depends. I'm probably more the hunted. People have often asked me for help and then they take advantage of me often. I always feel like I'm being targeted by these people who use me. So I'm becoming more of a hunter as I'm getting older. Also, I used to be very fearful as a child. I used to have a lot of nightmares about wild animals killing me. So I felt like the hunted often. Yeah. But then when I was older and I did some therapy, I had dreams where I actually conquered those wild animals and I killed them. So yeah. 2, are you a flirtatious person? I don't think I am intentionally flirtatious. It's not something I do intentionally. If I like someone, I like them, but I don't really think about it much. I just remember when I had a crush on one girl, I used to stare at her from a distance, but if she saw me, I would look away, but I wouldn't flirt with her up front. I did tell her I liked her. I wrote her a love letter, but then she didn't really accept it, and then I tore it up in frustration. But no, I don't think so. No. If you had to put one moment of your life in a snow globe, what would it be and why? Wow, many moments, hey? So many moments. Just all the time I've been with my mother, because I love my mother so much. She means the world to me. Yes. Are you good at being self-expressive? Very much. I'm a very expressive person. I love singing. I love using my voice to make certain sounds and, go up and down with my voice. I like to imitate certain voices, do parodies. I love art. I used to like to draw people's faces, and I like to emphasize their expression. And through singing as well, I love to express my emotions through my singing. Yes, definitely. What were you like in high school? In high school, I was socially awkward. I was an introvert. I didn't have any friends because I was new. I previously was in an English school and I went to an Afrikaans high school, and the culture was very different. I am Afrikaans, but I used to be in an English primary school. I didn't fit in there either. High school also didn't fit in at first. I did end up making friends, but with girls and not boys, because the boys saw me as being too soft, too feminine, and I couldn't really handle the boys. They were too rough for me, rough and tough and obnoxious. So I ended up being friends with girls. A lot of them backstabbed me, but hey, that's life for you. I was a hopeless romantic. I had crushes on some girls, but it was like a really intense crush that lasted like 3 years, one girl. And then we were just friends, the kind of on and off friends. And then one day we had an argument, and then she ended the friendship, and I fell into like a deep depression for 3 days. And then I got out of it. But I'm glad it happened because I could then move on from it. Otherwise, I was pretty shy, pretty awkward. Was bullied a lot. When I was older, I won a dance competition just by chance, didn't practice, just winged it, and then suddenly everyone loved me for like a day. Then the next day I was invisible again. It's like that. Yeah. Okay, how often do you cry? I think I cry every day. It's not like really like for if something is, how can I put it? Like I'm not depressed crying, but it's like if I hear a beautiful song or something really moves me, I will shed a few tears. Yes, I'm pretty emotional. If you were to exist in a different time period, what would it be? Or when would it be? And what social or practical role would you fill? What comes to mind now is probably being like Da Vinci in the Renaissance period, because I love art very much. I'm very much an artist. I'd say that time period. Also, I love Italy. I love the food, the culture, the beautiful architecture. Yeah, Renaissance. And what are your life goals? I'm not really someone who thinks too much about life goals, but I'd probably say just to be fulfilled, to improve myself, to be the best person I can be, to love others, to make a difference. As an English teacher, I want my kids to have a successful future. I want them to have the right foundation in terms of their knowledge. And I want them to do well, be successful, but also be happy and fulfilled, on a deep level. Yes, thank you so much.